Oh. I don't know how that worked. Give me a sec. Alright, try.
I go to get coffee and come back to Boka fighting with a cat in the void.
Shut up. No. Once more with feeling, guys. Give me a TTS. Hello? Once more.
Testing 1 2 3 4 5 5 5.
Shut up. Alright.
There is a small lizard on my screen.
Hey, that's you. I don't know what you're talking about. Saying you.
Velp time to reward the backer for a job well done with aggressive head pats. Bokath 1 pat, Bokath 1 pat, Bokath 1 pat, Bokath 1 pat, Bokath 1 pat.
Alright, we're doing reacts. Gotta do a react. Wait, are you getting me into SCPs? I don't like that. I don't like it at all. Wait, it's 2 of them? I don't like it. I'm already crying. I want my water near me for protection.
Note, file under review. This document has been flagged for possible methodological issues. Please be aware that the following information is subject to
Look up
change
SCP
and may contain inaccuracies.
3973.
Item number SCP-5031. Object Class Keter. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-5031 is to be contained in an airtight iron cell in Biosite 59. The structure must be inspected for imperfections on a bi-weekly basis. No other interaction necessary. Description: SCP-5031 is a non-sapient quasi-humanoid creature of unknown origin. When directly observed, SCP-5031 will temporarily cease to exist until the viewer stops observing the space that SCP-5031 formerly occupied. Traces of its existence, for example scratch marks or blood trails, continue to exist when SCP-5031 does not. Video and photography devices do not capture SCP-5031's appearance. However, observing SCP-5031's shadow does not cause cessation of existence, allowing certain physiological traits to be inferred from its silhouette. Abnormally small head with no discernible neck. Elbows branch into 3 sets of lower arms each. Elongated torso approximately 1.9 meters in length, presumably for extra digestive capacity. Pelvis terminates in a crescent-shaped protrusion of osseous tissue with a
Man, it has flower arms before flower arms were that thing.
blade-like lower edge. Levitates above the ground at a fixed height of 0.5 meters.
Oh wait, wait, I'm supposed to watch an intro? Oh, okay. Yeah, we can watch that first.
So,
I'm already unhappy with this by TheVolgun for watching SCP because I have to watch an hour-long.
I'm worried that I know more than one person who would use the SCP files like Tinder.
Don't even want to know. Alright. Time to scare my brains out. Because you guys are horrible, horrible torturers.
stumbled upon or heard about a thing called SCP, and you're wondering what it's all about.
No,
this
I'm
guide
not.
has all the information you need to know about what the SCP Foundation is and what it has to offer you. Think of it as the ultimate primer to the universe, and the wiki as it is and should be seen today. This guide is split up into 3 sections, and they are as follows. Number 1, the basics. An introduction to the SCP Foundation and wiki, covering the SCP format, object classes, in-universe lore about the Foundation, and important vocabulary, and why it all matters. Number 2, in-universe elements. This covers
Cat, make it up to me. You could totally order me a bagel. All I'm saying. Not saying order one. Just saying you could make it up to me.
some background information and a lot of commonly used terms that might leave a new reader lost or confused.
For whom it may concern, it's like $10
Number 3,
to deliver it.
things to read and do. A tour of the entire SCP universe, covering all modes of writing and different kinds of pieces that you can read. From -Js to EXs, 00.
I will say that one thing I have noticed from what little I know about SCPs is it seems that everything is excruciatingly detailed. So it's like there's all this conspiracy people and stuff, but like this is what really gets me to believe stuff is detail. That's why I've never wanted to look deeper into this, because I like being inherently naive. If I don't know about it, it can't hurt me.
01 proposals
And I'm not scared, I'm a dragon. Frick you guys.
to groups of interest, tales, and canons. There's a lot more than
I accidentally skipped stuff.
Operating clandestine and worldwide, the Foundation
This is
operates
what
beyond
happens when you give a
jurisdiction,
group of
empowered
hyper-focusing
and
artists
entrusted
their
by
own
every
world to
major
make
national
law.
government with the task of containing anomalous objects, entities, and phenomena. These anomalies pose a significant threat to global security by threatening either physical or psychological harm.
Introduction. The SCP Foundation is a collaborative writing platform centering around a fictional foundation, a scientific and military organization that seeks to protect humanity and the status quo by locating and containing anomalies, objects, life forms, events, locations, concepts, creations, and phenomena that, in one way or another, violate natural law. On the SCP Wiki, authors tell stories and explore ideas within this urban fantasy science fiction universe, creating rich pieces of writing that take place in a world where the anomalous exists and how people and organizations interact with them. These articles may showcase the different types of
That's what I'm saying, guys. Like, the amount of detail and, like, thought, from what I understand, that went into this stuff makes it hard to not believe in it. The only one I know about is... What's the one I knew about? I don't remember what it was called. I watched Warehouse was like 41 or whatever, that show, and apparently that show has some in it. I love that show, by the way. I really wish, well, Warehouse 13, that's what it was. And I really wish they hadn't stopped it. It was such a good show. I totally think it would do bonkers numbers right now if they brought it back. Do not listen to the comments that will come telling you to watch SCP Where the Dragons Went. I'm not ready. From what I understand, all of them are, like, 90% of them are, like, horror-infused, like, nightmares. So, yeah, probably not.
phenomena that might exist in this universe, the SCPs themselves, or tell compelling narratives about life and interactions within the SCP world, tales, canons, and groups of interest formats. The central focus of the SCP Wiki is the SCP file, commonly referred to as just an SCP. It is a set of in-universe technical documentation supposedly compiled by the Foundation in an effort to understand, analyze, experiment with, and most importantly, contain the anomaly. The SCP file is, in effect, a form of constrained writing, an immersive way to tell a story about the nature and history of an anomalous object or entity, whether directly or by hinting at some greater idea. Each SCP is given a unique serial number or designation, and on the wiki, you can browse SCPs with designations ranging from 1.
That is an enormous amount of things. What is that? 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000. So you tell me there's a little over 4,000 different ones?
To 3,999. They are organized into 4 numerical series. Series 1, SCP-1 through to 999. Series 1 was written from 2007 to 2011. Series 2, SCP-1000 through to SCP-1999. Series 2 was written from 2011 to 2013. Series 3, SCP-2000 through to SCP-2999. Series 3 was written from 2013 to 2017. and Series 4,
Terry's SCPs that go up to
SCP-3000 through to
8,999
SCP-3900.
currently.
Oh, so double the amount that's on here. Cool. Of course.
199. This series is still being written, but it started in 2017. The SCP format. An SCP file has a very specific format that, in general, must be strictly adhered to.
Hello?
SCPs are the backbone of the entire
What the heck
franchise.
is that?
These documents are the set pieces of the universe, showcasing its tone,
What did I
stories,
just say?
and possibilities. The basic format of an
What am I
SCP
looking at?
is as follows. Item number, SCP hyphen, then the number. Object class, then a category name. Special containment procedures, then a detailed summary of all specific means needed to make sure the anomaly is safely contained. Description, then a technically written documentation of all things that the anomaly is, does, and can do. And finally, supplements, optional additional files added onto the base document. Each SCP is given an object class based on the degree of containment difficulty. Here are the primary object classes. Safe. The anomaly can be contained by simply leaving it alone.
What's a
No special procedures, methods, or events are necessary to
Are
keep
you
it
calling
from
me a
damaging the
Mouseketeer?
world. This does not necessarily mean it's not dangerous. A safe class object can be world-threatening if not contained, but it's just really easy to contain them. Some notable examples of safe class SCPs are SCP-1981, SCP-2579, SCP-993, SCP-1425, and SCP-3039. All examples will be in the video description. Next, Euclid. The anomaly is inherently unpredictable or requires some amount of special effort to be contained. You're not quite sure what will happen if you leave it alone.
It's one of these classes
and it might be a
they're
little
telling me
bit more
about now?
complex
Okay.
than a safe class entity, object, or phenomenon.
If it's not the most dangerous, I will hate you all.
Some notable examples of Euclid class SCPs are SCP-3008, SCP-426, SCP-1171, SCP-3001, and SCP-1609. And finally, Keter. These SCPs are really difficult to contain,
Yeah.
requiring a huge expenditure of resources or extensively complex containment
Keter.
procedures. The most
Keter?
dangerous of
You said
phenomena
Keter,
are
right?
classed as Keter, often, but not
Keter.
always, posing an existential threat to humanity, the world, or universal structure itself. Some notable examples of Keter class SCPs are SCP-1739,
Why is there a laptop?
SCP-231,
It's a Dell
SCP-2935,
laptop.
SCP-2293, and SCP-3200. In addition,
But yeah, that's what I was saying. The only way, the reason I learned about SCPs, what I know of them at least, is from Warehouse 13. And like, some of the things in that were like terrifying.
there are a number of
I did
esoteric
like an episode or two on them.
It's not
and
really
secondary
danger
classes
class.
that are
Safe
used
can
much
also be
less than the
extremely
big three that
dangerous.
I just
It's
mentioned,
the amount of effort
but
to contain
still serve
them.
important
In Bacchus'
purposes.
case, the insane amount of brownies needed.
Thaumiel. This is a very rare object class only known to the highest levels of the Foundation. In essence, Thaumiel class objects are anti-Keter. They are used in the containment or counteracting of other SCPs. They act as powerful tools to be used by the Foundation, which normally rarely uses anomalies. Some notable examples of Thaumiel class SCPs are SCP-2000, SCP-2003, SCP-3000, SCP-179, and SCP-3031. And finally, neutralized. It used to be anomalous, now it's not. Maybe it just stopped working on its own. Maybe someone accidentally or purposefully destroyed it. Either way, it no longer has functional anomalous properties. Some notable examples of neutralized class SCPs are SCP-1470, SCP-2682, SCP-3519, SCP-1762, and SCP-2420. If you want to stop watching this guide now and start diving into the wiki, this is a good time to do so. But be sure to finish this guide if you're unsure of anything. Maybe you can pick one from the links from the description and then follow the cross-links and navigation in the article. Maybe you can go to a series page. I highly recommend series 2 and 3, and just click on one with an intriguing title. Or you could roll the dice and press random SCP. One of the best ways to learn about the Foundation is to discover for yourself all the genres, emotions, and ideas it can evoke, to keep that sense of mystery and gritty realism. There's still a lot to learn about the culture and
now would be a good time to go over to the other video and watch the rest of this later if you want to.
Didn't I watch all of this? Are you telling me not to watch all of this? Watch the other one? Okay. Oh. Alright, so we watch this now? This crazy, Titanite demon from Demon Souls?
While SCP-5031 has no nutritional needs, it will nevertheless hunt and consume any human or animal it encounters by using its pendulous lower body to down targets. SCP-5031 does not sleep and is incapable of expression or verbal communication. Addendum. As of 14/02/2018, Senior Researcher Stanley Huxtable is now acting in the role of HCL Supervisor for SCP-5031. The following is a selection of relevant correspondences from Senior Researcher Huxtable to Site Director Yusuf Mustofi elucidating research progress. 14/02/2018. Initial impressions. I have no idea who wrote this, but there's a lot I'd like to say to them. I'm not a fan of abandoning a living creature inside a metal box for 10 years, no matter how pragmatic it may be. It's difficult to fathom that such things were considered the norm a decade ago. Have you ever heard something scream from behind 10 inches of iron for hours on end? When I do my redraft, remind me to add anomalous resistance to hoarseness somewhere in the description. Could you work your magic and get the boys to retrofit the containment cube with an aperture and security vestibule? I'd like to run some tests that require exposing SCP-5031 to certain stimuli. 08/03/2018. Round 1 tests. Sound. Summary. Forward. Installed speakers in the containment vestibule and played various albums of natural ambience and popular music. SCP-5031's propensity for screaming worked as a convenient way to measure its stress levels. 100% would be considered its typical screaming. Volume.
Apparently it likes Ben Fold, Mozart, and Kiss. Understandable.
And duration, over 48 hours, and 0% would be no screaming at all. Selection, morning forest ambience, stress level, 43%, seaside paradise ambience, 48%, deep grotto ambience, 62%, the best of Mozart, 13%, the best of Enya, 18%, the best of Ben
apparently they like
Folds,
Enya as well.
6%, the best of Jethro Tull, 59%, the best of Kiss, 23%.
Really doesn't
Afterward.
like Jethro Tull.
Efficacy of music for stress reduction gradually decreases over time. I've assembled a playlist of SCP-5031's favorite music to play on shuffle in its enclosure in perpetuity. Stress levels consistently remain in the 15 to 25% range, baseline adjusted accordingly. 22/03/2018. Round 2 tests. Play. Summary. Test. Threw softball into enclosure. Result, SCP-5031 sliced the ball in two. Test. Tossed basketball into enclosure. Result, SCP-5031 sliced the ball open. Test. Rolled bowling ball into enclosure. Result, SCP-5031 scratched a couple of grooves into the ball, then rolled the ball around the enclosure with the blunt end of its tail for 20 minutes. Stress levels remained less than 60% after play. Test. Rolled another bowling ball into the enclosure. Result, SCP-5031 used the blunt end of its tail to hit the balls together for a while. Stress levels remained less than 40% after play. Test. Bowling ball chipped and would no longer roll properly. Unplanned. Result, Stress levels increased to around 115%. Test. Replacement bowling ball provided. Result. Stress levels fell back to around 40%. Test. Tossed basketball into enclosure. Result. SCP-5031 picked up and played with the ball. Stress levels remained less than 20% after
it likes
play.
to play with the ball.
Afterward, SCP-5031 began to use its hands to play with the basketball, possibly to avoid accidentally damaging it. Motor skill comparable to that of a toddler, SCP-5031 still prefers bowling ball for kicking. 0504-2018. Round 3 tests. Food. Summary. Forward. SCP-5031 was given the choice between two potential food sources placed at opposite ends of the enclosure. Choices: human corpse or pig carcass. Selection: pig carcass. Choices: pig carcass or chicken carcass. Selection: pig carcass. Choices: pig carcass or rotisserie chicken. Selection:
So it really likes rotisserie chicken. Not gonna lie, understandable. And apparently it has no desire for human.
rotisserie chicken. Choices: chicken carcass or rotisserie chicken. Selection: rotisserie chicken. Choices: live chicken or rotisserie chicken. Selection: rotisserie chicken. Choices: roasted turkey or rotisserie chicken. Selection: neither, presumed sated. Afterward, while it's true that SCP-5031 doesn't necessarily need to eat, feeding it regularly has caused a marked decrease in average stress levels. Stress reduction seems to scale proportionally with the quality of food provided. Also of note is that SCP-5031 prefers to use its tail to pry and cut meat into bite-sized portions rather than rip the meat into chunks with its teeth or hands. 1204-2018. Round 4 tests. Coexistence. Summary. Test 1. SCP-5031 fed until sated. Live subject, common chicken, introduced to enclosure. Result. SCP-5031 observed subject from a distance for several minutes and then rolled a bowling ball towards subject at high speed. Subject was killed instantly.
Alrighty then. Don't give it bowling balls, guy.
SCP-5031's stress levels rose immediately and drastically. Test 2. Bowling balls removed from enclosure. SCP-5031 fed until sated. Live subject, common chicken, introduced to enclosure. Result. SCP-5031 gently rolled a basketball towards subject. Ball hit subject lightly. Subject responded with a small cry and moved away. SCP-5031 did not engage with subject any further. Test 3. SCP-5031 fed until sated. Live subject, Class D, blindfolded, introduced to the enclosure and instructed to sit and roll basketball forward, then wait until it came back and roll away again.
Oh, it likes to play ball. Like, literally.
Result. Subject and SCP-5031 successfully rolled the ball back and forth for several minutes. SCP-5031 eventually abandoned the activity and approached the subject. Per safety protocol, subject removed their blindfold to terminate the activity. Test 4. SCP-5031 fed until sated. Live subject, Class D, introduced to the enclosure and instructed to toss a tennis ball at the wall. Let it ricochet behind them, then catch and repeat. Result. SCP-5031 stood behind subject and successfully engaged in a game of catch, mimicking subject's action of letting ball ricochet against the wall. Afterward, SCP-5031's motor skills appear to be rapidly improving. 1605-2018. Round 5 tests. Symbols. Summary. Forward. 5 LCD displays were fitted into the wall of SCP-5031's enclosure, each with a lit button
It really likes rotisserie chicken.
and a food dispenser underneath. Test 1. 2 stations activated. Screen 1 displayed the image of a rock. Its button dispensed rocks. Screen 2 displayed the image of a rotisserie chicken. Its button dispensed pieces of chicken. Result: SCP-5031 poked at the image of the chicken for a few minutes and eventually hit the button. Chicken was dispensed until SCP-5031 was satisfied. Test 2. Screen displays and the materials dispensed were swapped. Result: SCP-5031 hit the button it had hit the previous day and received a rock. It then went to the other screen and hit the button to dispense chicken. Test 3. Screen displays and materials dispensed were swapped back to their original positions and set to swap again at random intervals after the first distribution. Result: SCP-5031 went directly to the button next to the image of the chicken, experienced apparent confusion after the first mid-distribution swap, but quickly learned to watch the images. Test 4. 3 more stations, screens, buttons, dispensers were activated. 4 stations displayed the word rock and dispensed rocks. 1 station displayed the word chicken and dispensed chicken. Arrangements set to change randomly several times over the following days. Result: through trial and error, SCP-5031 determined which station dispensed chicken. SCP-5031 subsequently went to the station marked chicken whenever the displays were swapped. Test 5. All stations deactivated except 1. Screen displayed the word chicken. 7 wood blocks were set in front of the station, each marked with one of the letters in the word chicken. The station's button was set to remain unlit and inactive until the blocks were arranged in the correct order. Result: SCP-5031 expressed apparent frustration, hitting the inactive button repeatedly and striking the wall with its tail. Test 6. Same as previous test, but screen displayed the word chicken with each letter overlaid on a photo of a wood block. Result: after 12 minutes, SCP-5031 successfully assembled the word chicken. Afterward, it can learn language, Yusuf. 29/08/2018. Round 6 tests. Vocabulary. Results. Forward, SCP-5031 has learned to use letter blocks to form the following words: foods: chicken, turkey, pork, tofu, beef.
All I gotta say is my words would be very, very different.
Bread, more salt, more pepper, more cooked. Music: Mozart, Enya, Ben Folds, Forest.
I love that the first music it learned was Mozart.
Seaside, white noise, more volume, less volume, and silence. Play: basketball, bowling ball, tennis ball, cat, dog, human, Robert, D52125, Stanley, and alone. Afterward, through its increased vocabulary and human interaction, SCP-5031 has made the following progress: established food preferences and dish pairings, learned to sing non-verbally, and learned to juggle. 6-handed juggling is something to behold. 05/10/2018. Round 7 tests. Activities. Summary. Test 1. Introduced table, paper, and crayons into the enclosure. Live subject D52125 instructed to demonstrate drawing for SCP-5031. Result: SCP-5031 learned to draw. Discernible subjects depicted in its artwork include D52125, SCP-5031, a rotisserie chicken, a cat, and myself.
It learned to draw a rotisserie chicken. And a kitty! It must have liked playing with the cat.
Test 2. Introduced piano to the enclosure.
You're not a scary guy, are you? Just want chicken and kitty.
Live subject D52125 instructed to play chopsticks blindfolded and invite SCP-5031 to play along. Subject had time to practice beforehand. Result: SCP-5031 learned chopsticks in 2 days, though it appears
It loves garlic powder. I love garlic powder. Understandable, guy. Understandable. It's a good spice. It's a good spice.
More interested in making its own original music, complete with vocals. These compositions might be considered crude by human standards. Test 3.
I'm so
Introduced
insulted that
spice
one of you
rack
removed
into the
my pin
enclosure.
message.
Live subject D52125 instructed to demonstrate seasoning meats. Result: SCP-5031 spent almost 3 straight days experimenting with different combinations of foods and spices. SCP-5031 assembled the words more with its letter blocks after running out of garlic powder. Afterward, SCP-5003 only engages with
It's a cook. I understand this. I love cooking. Like, whatever reason, when my ADHD like grabs hold, I want to cook.
Just don't ask how many security personnel it took to establish containment. Remember, it was already locked up for 10 years at the start of the video.
Probably thousands. It's got a giant blade tail. And I don't think it liked the idea of being locked up.
with art and music when accompanied by D52125, but it continues to be preoccupied with food preparation.
It learned how to make chocolate chip cookies, sponge cake with buttercream, fudge, clam chowder, steak, macaroons, chicken, smoked salmon. It really loves cooking. I like that.
Alone. 04/01/2019. Round 8 tests. Cooking. Results. Forward. Basic kitchen utilities installed in enclosure. Sharp implements withheld per security protocol. SCP-5031 used its tail to cut food. Live subject D52125 instructed to demonstrate preparation of various recipes. Recipes learned.
Yes, Gold,
Quesadilla,
it does.
taco, hamburger, fried rice, Mongolian beef, spicy chicken curry, chocolate chip cookies, sponge cake with buttercream, fudge, clam chowder, steak, macaroons,
Damn you.
chicken abodo, smoked salmon, and profiteroles. Afterward, SCP-5031 has a severe peanut allergy. This should be included in the revised containment procedures. I would also like to note that SCP-5031 is now a better chef than the average human. It has begun to create its own recipes. D52125 has
Damn, he can
volunteered
cook way more
to
dishes
taste
than
test.
Baka.
30/06/2019.
I can cook multiple dishes. Shut up.
Update. SCP-5031 has said its first word. Salt. We are all immensely proud. 29/11/2019. Final test. Summary. SCP-5031 was given 2 months to develop a 3-course meal to serve at the Biosite 59 cafeteria for personnel working over Thanksgiving. Its selections were as follows. First course: sweet potato turmeric miso soup. Second course: duck confit with apple cider glaze and cranberry compote topping paired with butternut squash gnocchi on a bed of kale seasoned with truffle salt. Third course: a slice of spiced cassava pie topped with French vanilla ice cream and maple hazelnut syrup. SCP-5031 also debuted its original composition, Piano Sonata for 6 Hands, in a live performance broadcast from its enclosure. Personnel response was overwhelmingly positive. SCP-5031 stress levels at 0%. Testing successfully concluded. Revised documentation submitted for approval. This concludes today's lecture. Thank you for listening, if indeed you still are, and you are all dismissed.
Aww.
Goodbye.
Just wants to be a chef. And has a passion for a little bit of music. That's nice. This article is written by Pepper Ghost. Of course their name is Pepper Ghost. But the monster likes the word salt. That's cute. I like that.
Hope Baka enjoyed their intro to the SCP Foundation.
I don't know if that was considered horror, but I'll take it. It was cute.